Committee meeting in order. Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Morton. Here. Myers. Here. Costa. Here. Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
All right. Let's see, Larry is not here yet from American Green Technology. Is there anyone here for American Green? All right, so what we're going to do, if the board doesn't mind, we're going to let's move to item number 4, because now we've got people here for item number 4. Is the board okay with that? Give you a little extra time. Discuss potential municipal projects for 2015, 2016. We got the first one. Chief, are you ready? You ready? We moved everything up so you can get them up there.
Okay, sorry. We need to set that projector up for a minute.
Okay.
I think he's going to take it.
All right, while they're setting this up, we've got this on here because there's some other things we're doing is we're working on our, we want to call it our wish list that we put together for the governor's office and that we give to our lobbyists in Springfield so they can continue to be out there. And when I'm looking to the board to see if you have anything that you would like added to that list. But do you have, while they're setting that up, do you have anything else that you want to add? And I'll tell you what I've got here so far is we've got roads we're putting together, roads that need to be repaired. We're putting together infrastructure when it comes to jetting and B-boxes and the amount of money that we're going to need for that. Tonight we have a presentation that they're getting ready to put together for us. Trustee Morton is working on an old fire department grant that is out there, and he's working with our state on that one. I've got down village manager. We've got completing the wells this next year. The first thing that is on here, which is not here yet, is the street lighting. We want to continue moving forward on that. We've got fire hydrants on here. Trustee Morton's working on another thing for me on the lighted street signs along Sauk Trail. So we've got that on the list. And then we've got the ball field. So we haven't got the word yet if we've got that grant, but we're going to continue working on getting that also. So just looking to the board, see if you have anything that you see that we're missing or that needs to be added. Yes.
Can't hear you. That's the local debt recovery program. Waiting on the state to give us a number.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to them today, yesterday before yesterday, and we're waiting on the state to give us our number, and then they will come on board and process our stuff, where it's time, and all that stuff will go out. And then it look like in a 3-part, with the amount of money that we're looking at, it's going to be about 3-part bill, and then we should recoup about 2/3 of our money that's out there, which is not bad at all. But there's a very, very large sum of money out there that's owed to us. But we're just waiting on the state to give us a number where we can go ahead and tie in the controllers of the computer and we'll be all set. Is that it?
I got it. Yep, I got the village manager here.
I know that grant for the baseball field, so they spend more money for the new playground. Some of the other parts.
Can't hear you.
Look for some grants for playground equipment for other parks other than just the baseball field area.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah,
Are you talking about bringing or trying to acquire money from the state for different projects? That's what you're basically.
What we're doing is, Chris, we put together a wish list every year, and a little bit of work is involved in it, so getting it together. So, you know that we're getting it to December. We want to make sure we have everything, hopefully by the end of January, sitting on the new governor's desk. So we'll put together an entire packet for our new governor with all this thing. When you look at roads, we'll put together white pages for every single road, along with photos, how much it's going to cost to fix those roads, infrastructure, jetting, things like that. Put together what we have currently, what needs to be done, what it's going to cost. So you go right down the line. So everything, when we get done, to have a large packet with multiple projects.
Okay, something I spoke about before was the 50/50 program. I don't know, but I would like to see some money set aside each and every year for that program, where we would pay 50%, the homeowner would pay 50% to fix the sidewalks that we're not able to fix at that particular time. This would be a first come, first served basis. When the money's gone, it's gone, but the village will pay half and the homeowner will pay half. That would be something that I would love to see. We earmark money, put that to the side for that particular program each and every year. If you do 10,000, it'll still give us something better than what we're doing right now. So, and that's something that's, if anyone has been out there in the streets walking, you can see how our sidewalks look. And we need to get, I know right now we don't have the money to do a lot of things, but at least we can start the 50/50 program, and those that can afford it, can do it. But we still, the money is MFT money. It is from the MFT that we do the normal. Right now we're doing streets instead of sidewalks. So I would just like to see if we can get some money put aside for that from the state as in a way of a grant or whatever, but it'll be for that.
All right, got it.
The curbs usually come when you do the streets. No, because you have the sidewalk and then you have more, which would be the village property or whatever. Then you have the curb. When they do the streets, they usually, if they do the whole street, they usually cut the curb. That's usually when it's done when you do the streets.
We'd like to see if we get a roof on that community center roof area. What's the roof project?
We've got a couple of the furnaces and the air conditioning units that are. They were putting together that because I think you've got the police department, you've got the public works department. I can't remember if we just did yours or if yours is on that list also.
I thought we fixed it, kind of like a Band-Aid to a bullet wound.
The air conditioning including that with the period this year.
I know Kevin's got a list of those. So, in fact, that's a separate grant that you apply for when it comes to what's called high back or high bar. All right, so anything else? All right, yes.
Another thing that I'm looking into is stuff that's solar, wind power. I've done a lot of research and actually seen in, I think it was the village of P.L.A.N field, they have these really tiny turbines that they have up on poles, and it generates power for lighting and stuff like that. And actually one was like by not a marquee, but actually generated enough power that it actually lit it up at night. So we'll probably look at something solar panels or.
You might want to check out Richmond Park and also Linwood.
Yeah, but the problem is when you got those big windmills that they have that Richmond Park has, one, noise. It makes a lot of noise. If you go to the one in Richmond Park, it makes a lot of noise. And also, too, when it comes to how much power it generates and I guess the cost, I mean, if they keep that for like a long period of time, I know Mr. Reinbold was talking to me about it, that's when it'll actually turn the tables. So it's like a sliding scale. As long as you had it starts coming up, and it breaks even. what it actually costs to do that, and then later on, you'll actually start saving.
Reason why I would suggest, well, let's comment on that is two things. First of all, that windmill or turbine, whatever, any auxiliary power has to be sold to ComEd. They'll look at and see how much you're actually generating. They'll take that away from your bill, but you have to put that on the grid. That doesn't go straight to your building. It's not, they have to go on the grid, and then it'll generate however many megawatts it generates a year will be taken away from your bill that way. So you actually put that windmill or the turbine will actually go online, and then they'll see how much it actually uses, and then they'll take that much away from your bill. But we have to make sure that if you do something like that, you have to build it where the specifications have to be, Commonwealth Edison has to come in and make sure that you actually put it on their line.
So it basically, I mean, try to simplify things, it doesn't generate power, it goes in like a battery pack,
No, it goes in, it generates power.
and then it goes into a battery, then it runs that light.
No, it goes on the grid. And in other words, you're not gonna just, it's not gonna be that windmill or that turbine is not gonna just power this because you got too many ground faults in the building to take care of that.
Oh, not this whole thing.
No, I'm just saying, so there goes to the grid and you will find out how much you actually generate.
Correct.
And then they'll take that away. If you generate 6 megawatts and you use 8 megawatts, then quite naturally you just have to pay for 2 megawatts.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks, sir.
All right, anything? Well, it's going to take us a little bit of time, so if you come across anything else, get with me as we're putting this together. And if you've got an idea, something, if you have the supporting information, kind of help me out, so I just go out there and get all the information. If you've got the supporting information, provide it so that we can get this thing put together. So, and then when we put it together, we'll break it down by, roads and infrastructure is one thing, and then we'll be looking at major capital improvements when it comes to buildings, heating, things like that. Special projects when it comes to street lights, things like that. So we'll break it down and put it together in this packet. So, and if you have anything else, just come. Yeah, just you can email it to me, or you can, if you got something, just drop it off, stick it in my box, and then we'll put it together. So, again, like I said, it won't be going to the governor's office until probably the end of January. But this is something that we're definitely working on so that they have it in front of their face. And again, they've got a new governor, but we still have the same state reps and senators, so we want to make sure we stay in front of their face for Sauk. So it's a good list, and I think we're going to have a good presentation for the governor. One thing is, when we talk about the ball fields, and I don't know if too many residents have seen, when we went down to Springfield for the final presentation, you had, like 3 seconds, or 3 minutes to go up there, and you go and carry it with you was one board. So, kind of give the residents an idea. I'm gonna hold that. If you know where the ball fields are, this is what we presented to them. We're redoing all 4 of our ball fields. New signage, new lighting at both entrances coming in from Peterson Avenue, coming in from over this area. We're looking at a soccer field. We're looking at a 1/4 mile walking path built in that area. Brand new playground equipment with all ADA paths. Everywhere you see the dotted lines, those are all new ADA paths, and then a new batting cage. So, and that's working off memory. So, this is what we presented for the grant. We made it to the final stages, and we're looking at finding out something hopefully by the end of, we're in December already, by the end of December, beginning of January, find out if we made the final cut. So we were working on a lot of stuff, a lot of things that, we want to bring to everyone, but we always have fun when we can talk about we got something, but sometimes people don't realize all the work it took to get that. So kind of give you an idea. If someone wants to see it, we'll go ahead and we'll leave it up here. We'll try to start giving more visuals so the residents can see. You look at the new wells. We've got pictures of what's going on at well number 3. Those are actual photos. Of course, they took it down. It was sitting up there. Those are actual photos from well number 3. from the areas. Those are actual generators that we have on site. Those are now Sauk villages. So a lot of work. We talked about last week about the $4.8 million. I know there was a lot of questions on how that money was spent, what we did. We got the final report saying that we did exactly with that $4.8 million what we were supposed to, and that money is being used exactly the way we applied for it. So that is good. I know there's a lot of questions out there, and people thought we could use it for something else. And of course, sometimes when you're the only person, and again, I wasn't the only person dealing with the state and the governor's office. Jim Zarnik was in some meetings, Mr. Mohan was in some meetings, and I was in a lot of meetings. So coming for the board saying this is what we're getting the grant for, this is how we have to spend it, and there were some questions. So last week I gave the board the official from the IEP. So again, I made very clear to them, I said I want to make sure that we're spending it the way we're supposed to, and it came out that we weren't. So that's where we're there. And now, are you guys all ready?
Yes, sir.
No, in fact, we don't get the grant money. The grant money will go directly to the IEP that they have that. No, they're still working on it. But I think Mohan, this last week, they asked for additional information. So we provided that information. So whenever they ask for something, we give it to them. All right. Whenever you're ready. Chief's bringing this to us. So again, this is
One more item.
okay. And now it goes, I'm gonna wait, probably to lift this up.
How we doing? That's fine.
Okay, if I make my introductions real quick, introduce Mr. John Howard Ford. He's with U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency, but also a fugitive recovery agency. Worked closely with federal government. He came in tonight, Mr. Howard, along with some associates, made a presentation to the board in regards to bringing their business to Sauk. With that, Mr. Howard.
If not, you're going to
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much. My name is John Howard. How's that? That better? Okay, I'll start over. My name's John Howard. I'm an agent with U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency. I'm part of the Fugitive Enforcement Bureau division of the agency. I'm a fugitive enforcement agent. I'm also a firearms instructor for law enforcement as well as civilian. And what we're doing today is we're going to give a short presentation. I've been told to give a short because usually I go on and on and on for hours. But we're not going to do that today. We need popcorn. But what we want to do is bring a project here in the village of Sauk for not only for law enforcement, for government as well. And it's a training facility. The training facility would be used by multiple agencies, local, county, federal, and I've been getting a lot of calls for the federal, from the agencies, from the federal agencies. What's happening? What's happening? So what we did, we selected your town to be the site where we do the development if it's accepted. And what I wanted to do is just give you a brief overview of who we are, what we are through a PowerPoint presentation. Also, I want to show you what a mega system, a training system is. It would be for law enforcement and civilian, also a virtual training system. And the project, it's looking like it'll be like maybe a $3.5 to $4 million project. It'll create initially 7 to 15 full-time and part-time jobs, which is pretty good. So I'll start with the presentation. Oh, this is much better. Usually I don't get a mic. I like this. So our mission, briefly, is for U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency and U.S. Fugitive Enforcement Bureau to be the premier provider for specialized firearms training programs for government, law enforcement, civilian trainees, also use of force training for fugitive recovery and other specialized services in the United States. We currently have an office in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're setting up a site in New York. Our headquarters is going to be in D.C. very soon. We want to set up a training center here, though, in the state and town where I live. So, our competition. Currently, our existing competition in the area of fire ranges and services are 2 indoor ranges with 5 to 7 shooting lanes. Our projected range developments are, miles away and will not be in a combination indoor-outdoor. There's been some talk of 2 ranges, one going up in Oak Forest and somewhere else in Monica. They'll be miles away. So this development will be here. The facility that we have would be offering services which USI will be offering. Our agency's competitive advantage is not only prior relationships with certain government agencies, but our proven track record. So I tend not to read all of this because this will go on for hours, but I'll just keep going down. I'll introduce the staff that's here. Taisha Howard. Taisha would stand up. That's our CEO, our director, executive boss lady, we call her. We have John Howard, you met me. Von Dunlop, he's our law enforcement government coordinator. He'll be coming up and using this microphone too today, or tonight. David Lyon, he'll be the range master at the site once it's built. Okay. Marilu Caroga is not here right now. She's intelligence, she collects information, data for sheriff departments, bail-bond agencies, or any requesting agency that needs information on some of the things that we do. And I'll just give you a brief accomplishments for our executive director, Taisha Howard. Basically, let's see, she's our executive director of both agencies, U.S. Investigations and Protection Agency and U.S. Fugitive Enforcement Bureau. She is a range development and operations certified person. She's our human resources, risk management. She was the director of the USI range that was in Harvey. She is a pistol instructor. She was the only Bureau of Criminal Identification firearms instructor outside of Utah, but actually the first female instructor in the state of Illinois outside of Utah. She's our Director of Intelligence and has a plethora of certifications. She's also a private investigator. She's an Illinois concealed carry firearms instructor. She's Illinois State Police Life Scan certified. She's a bail enforcement agent. She's a range safety officer and many other things. So this gives you a quick overview of the background. Myself, I'm not going to read it. I've been in the field for about 13 years. 13 years as a trainer, as a fugitive enforcement agent, a law enforcement instructor. I've trained different officers on sheriff departments, officers and SWAT teams, civilian, public, you name it, I've done it, and I've done it all over the U.S. Von Dunlap. Yeah, I should have him come up and use the microphone. I think you'll like this. But he's our government and law enforcement training coordinator. He's an Illinois concealed carry firearm instructor. He's a basic pistol instructor, total control, semi-automatic firearms instructor for law enforcement. He's a BCI instructor. He's a Illinois Department of Professional Regulations licensed firearms instructor. He's also a lead bail enforcement agent as well. And he has many other certifications as well, including pressure point control tactics. Basically is what he teaches to military law enforcement and some civilian if they're doing it for the purpose of training law enforcement. Basically, he can touch you on the shoulder like Spock does in Star Trek, and you just fall down on the ground. I mean, seriously, he turned my leg off during one of the training exercises. It was 3 of us trying to take him down, and we were thinking it was going to be easy. Then we couldn't use our bodily parts. I mean, yeah, he's scary. He is. Okay, I'm not going to make this too long. But what I want to do is basically show you some of the systems that we're going to be using. Dunlap is going to come up and explain some more things in detail about what we want to do. And I think it would be a win-win. I know it'll be a win-win situation for the police department here, for the city of Sauk Trail. I'm sorry, Sauk Trail, the real Sauk Village. I apologize for that. And for our agency as well. Like I said before, it's a $3.5 or $2.5 to $4 million project. And I think it'll be a very good thing. So let me go through. I'm going to close this here. What I'm going to do is show you one of the training units that we'll be using for civilian and public. But while I'm doing that, Dunlap is going to come up and talk about some things that I missed. Tell me how bad I did today, so I'll be doing that too. Just don't touch my hand when you take the mic. So. This guy's scary.
I'm just a little grandpa. One of our main goals with this place, obviously, besides making it available here, is that we're looking to turn this one of the premier law enforcement training centers in the area. Besides the firearms instruction that we offer, it'll be a full use of force training academy as well. Besides our own instructors, we have partnered with some of the top instructors in the country that we can bring here. And again, as he mentioned, it won't be just local law enforcement. We already have contracts with Department of Justice, Bureau of Federal Prisons. Homeland Security has used our facility in the past, as well as Illinois State Police as well. But the fact that we were able to bring a lot of the things here that just are not available to a lot of local law enforcement agencies, besides bringing it is the amount of business we anticipate will come to the village because this will be a hub for a lot of things. One of the prime reasons for this location as well is because we're also close to the Indiana border. There will be things available to Indiana law enforcement as well. I believe at the peak when the Harvey range was going, we were having over 1,000 people a week showing up there. And that was without very little advertising and no time to really get this thing going the way it should have. Projections are that we would probably be bringing in close to 2,000 to 3,000 people a week once the place is established. It will be coming to Sauk Village. If they're here taking advantage of our facilities, they're going to eat somewhere, they're going to shop somewhere, they're going to buy their gas somewhere. We anticipate it would be a very win-win thing for both us and the village. And obviously, this is something which would be made available to your own police department. And because of the deal, we would be able to work this out to actually function here in your village. The facility would be made available to your police department at no additional cost. And John did a great job. So.
Okay, this here is a mega trainer system. This is one of the devices or units that would be set up here. 3 ranges. This is indoor and outdoor. It's safe. The lead collection is directly underneath the system. I'll play it and let you see for yourself.
Firearms training facility by Mega Training Systems. Mega Training Systems road range is built for durability and can be designed to meet your specifications. Following the proven design of the standard road range, featuring 3 shooting lanes and a 53-foot trailer, new configurations include a 6-lane side-by-side road range, which can be operated as 1 range or as 2 3-position ranges, and an end-to-end road range that offers a 3-lane range with a 25-yard target distance. The construction of the road range begins with a 53-foot over-the-road trailer. The trailer's interior is lined with thermal insulating materials and covered with ballistic steel panels. Final finish treatments include rubber pavers on the floor and acoustical material for sound absorption, offering complete ballistic security and maximum noise reduction. The patented Mega Training Systems reclining gram trap, an environmentally friendly granular rubber bullet trap, captures rounds virtually intact, providing a cleaner and safer range environment and simplifying lead removal. From under 5 feet, a shooter can fire full auto into the reclining gram trap without danger of ricochet or backsplatter. The shooting stalls provide 3 shooting positions. The clear ballistic panel offers an unobstructed view of the firing line, while providing protection from misdirected shots. A winged barricade can swing in front of shooters to allow firing with both their strong and weak hands and simulate shooting around obstructions. Firing line security motion sensors alert shooters of movement by signal lights and automatically edging targets. A 360-degree bi-directional turning target system comes standard in the road range, providing friend-foe target presentations for reactive response and judgmental training. Random edging and turning features prevent shooters from anticipating the target. An available onboard target light creates variable light conditions. The Rangemaster 9000 is a menu-driven range control system with graphical real-time display and position. With a few keystrokes, training programs can be conveniently entered and saved for future use. Rangemaster 9000 also controls support systems such as target lighting and range security systems. Individual control units at each firing position allow shooters to have independent control of their lane by entering commands on the keypad or executing a program scenario. Along with its standard target system, the road range can be equipped with a Mega Training Systems FAST simulation for integrated live fire and simulated training. It allows training with a full spectrum of tools, including less lethal and non-lethal options. A control room puts the target system, range security system, target and general lighting, ventilation system, and optional generator at the range operator's fingertips. An audio system allows communication with the shooters, and the ballistic glass window provides a view of the firing line and range. With the standard 100% outside air ventilation system, fans draw in air through a double perforated air wall, creating laminar air, which is drawn downrange through 2 stages of filtration and exhausted out near the bullet trap at 99.997 HEPA filtration. An optional recirculation system provides climate-controlled heating and cooling in the range year-round. A user-friendly panel controls ventilation, while large analog gauges display exhaust air filter conditions and range negative pressure in real time. The road range is powered by standard electrical connections or an optional built-in generator. Other options include a built-in HEPA filter vacuum system for safe and efficient recovery of lead, gun safe, undercarriage storage containers, light bar and siren package. The road range puts you on the fast track to a cost-effective specialized training facility and provides a total weapons training capability for marksmanship, sustainment, and judgmental training. For more information, contact Naked Training Systems today.
Okay, that's just one unit. I'll have our future range master come introduce himself and talk about some Winchester programs as well. David Lyon.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm Dave Lyon. I'm the Range Master with U.S. Investigations and the Fugitive Enforcement Bureau. We will be offering additional training not just for law enforcement and government agencies, but also for civilians. With the Illinois Concealed Carry program well underway, there's a lot of people that I have seen coming out of class saying, well, I'm done with this for a couple of years. I don't have to recertify for a couple of years. I'm done with this. And they don't want to pick up a gun and shoot again. They don't want to practice. So what we're doing is we're offering the Winchester Qualification Program, which is a skill development program with many different options for pistols, rifles, shotguns. Special Agent Howard is a three-time distinguished expert in pistol marksmanship. I am as well. So we're wanting to do this to encourage people to get out and practice. Okay? These are the same people that are carrying their gun that they got certified to use in the shopping mall. Or they're the same ones that are going out to wherever you go, and they don't want to practice. So our goal is to get people out there to provide safety, okay? Not just safety on the shooting range, but safety out in the community. Myself, talking about safety on the range, myself and a couple of our other special agents are certified in range safety operations, range development, Special Agent Howard. But we're also some of us are also certified in emergency trauma medical care for people. Okay, things happen. People fall and break bones. Things happen in a facility, and we want to be prepared. We want to drill and work with the fire department so that we know what they expect if an ambulance were to have to come out to our facility. We also will be offering classes such as basic pistol and basic rifle. We also offer classes that are non-shooting classes, such as home firearm safety. You know, these guys get a gun and they go out and they get certified with me, and their wife is sitting home terrified because, oh my gosh, you have a gun in my house. What do I do if my grandson or my niece or my nephew or the little neighbor boy comes out to my house and says, look what I found in the bedroom? Okay. So we want to prepare spouses and people in the home what to do if that were a situation that would come up in your home, how to handle it safely, what to tell small children if you own a firearm. So safety is one of our top priorities, not just for our range, but for the community, and not just your community. We anticipate, as Agent Dunlop said, many, many people coming in over the course of the year, and they're going to be coming from several communities. So our goal is to reach out to all of these communities and provide that education. And we want to work closely, like I said, with the fire department to develop our emergency plan with them to see what they need from us. We want to have we'll be training our range safety personnel, not just as range safety officers, but we'll also be teaching them things like first aid and CPR. Very important because you can use that anywhere. We want to have more people that will be certified in trauma care. Okay, we also want the fire department, we're hoping that we can have them come out for a day to look around and teach our range officers what to do if there is a fire, how to use the fire extinguisher. Has anybody ever used a fire extinguisher? If you've never used one, it makes noise. Okay? And, you know, the last thing I want is for someone to have to use it and it makes a noise and scares them and then they don't know what to do. So there's a lot of training and planning going into safe operation, and Special Agent Howard and I are continuing to develop those plans. It's a fluid plan. I mean, it continues to change as we develop more and get more education for our staff.
Thank you, sir.
I want to make sure we're addressing everyone properly. to address the board here, as well as try to address the people that are also here on the other side. So I don't know what's the preference. I know our boss is going to come up and talk shortly. I don't want to take too much time. I want to show you the virtual system. There's so many advantages to using this virtual system for military, law enforcement, and even civilian. So I'll just start this right away.
Hey, stop! Come back here! Hey, Hector, what's going on today? We were just playing, man. My brother was just resting on me, man. Just playing, you got blood all over your nose and lip. I know, I just fell down and that's busting my lip, man. Man, just move out. Here, we're the powers. We'll be out of here in a minute. Hey, you guys settle down. Settle down. We have two complaints. We'll be out of here in just a minute. As soon as we figure out what's going on. That's what your brother's saying. That's Juan. How old is Juan? He's 17. 17. So tell me what happened if you guys ended up on the lawn. I mean, we were just playing. I mean, we were just resting out. Brother. Come, brother. He's gonna die. Hey! He's gonna die. Man, step away from him. Put down the knife. Put away from him now. Put down the knife. Get your back. Put down the knife.
Okay, that's another device that we use for law enforcement, bail enforcement training, civilian public. What it does is actually helps law enforcement agencies, bail enforcement agents, as myself, become, I guess I'll use the word for lack of another term, sharper in the field. It'll prevent certain situations, as well as pepper ball training is a non-lethal option for law enforcement officers, military. All of this would be available on one site. What I'm going to do is ask Taisha Howard to come up, share a few words. I'll show a quick layout. I'll answer any questions that anyone has regarding what we just showed you and what we're proposing.
Good evening, everyone. How am I doing today? My name is Taisha Howard. As John Howard said, I'm the CEO of U.S. Investigation and Protection Agency, as well as U.S. Fugitive Enforcement Bureau. Just to let you know, of course, the reason why I'm CEO because it's a woman-owned business. Now, we're going to focus more on USI, U.S. Investigation and Protection Agency. One of our divisions we're working on is this range development plan. Now, this plan is not just for law enforcement and government facilities, it's also for citizens. Because what we're trying to do as an agency is give people out more, have them understanding and using the firearm they have in their homes. Now, we know a lot of people out here do not like using firearms still, which we understand, you know, everybody has the right to do what they want to do. But we also facilitate that show non-lethal process as well. The project will start off with 3 buildings and it will grow to even larger to like 7 or 9 buildings. And the reason being because it's going to add on more classrooms. Those classrooms will be able to do a lot of things besides firearm training. Of course, we're going to advertise to people who like to go fishing or hunting, who want to be qualified for those things too as well. Even if you decide to do a sewing class, of course, yes, it'll be on the range, but at the same time, with the sound abating material that we plan on using in those classrooms, you won't be able to use the sound, hear the sound outside. So if you want to do like a small class, a pottery class, or something like that, because I know there's not a lot of facilities that's out here all the time. You can get together and use that particular classroom for a certain grade course. So we just not going to subject it just for firearms training and government facilities, so on and so forth. We kind of spread it out a little bit more to other things as well, because we know how hard it is to do things. Now, as to the project itself, with the, of course, like to point out to the mega systems, of course.
Okay.
Like
Mega systems would be here.
Right.
Those are the indoor facilities.
Right, with those mega systems right there, they would travel. They may or may not travel like at least 3 to 5 times a year. So it's not a stationary building. Of course, the other two, well, the other 3 we have, of course, the starting point will be stationary. So, that means building permits and so on and so forth. And whatever codes we have to go through for the guideline of Sauk Village, as well as Bill County. I know the state, the county, the city, everybody has their own code process. And that's what we ask for. We need codes because we have the engineers, we have people who's planning on building, we have the people who is planning on, for the tech process, of course you gotta have security on the property, so on and so forth. But we need those codes, go through the process. So we just wait for that. Besides that, also like David Lyon, range master, the range master mentioned, I'm sorry, tongue-tied tonight. He mentioned the fact of safety things. We just don't want to give our class for the ill no care. Everybody likes the ill no care. We understand that. We want to be able to sit back and give our other classes as well, so civilians will have a comfort level of being able to use their firearms, be able to clean their firearms, or be able to go through the safety process with, when it comes to law enforcement. Of course, because Illinois does require for us to say, hey, your style, what do you do, so on and so forth. Now, the safety process is my favorite process that the other guys don't like, is the property itself, of course. We already have an idea of our EPA guidelines. That's a big idea, as well as the fact that any other things we need to do as of when it comes to certain process when it comes to medical. But, of course, with the collaboration with the fire department, we want to enhance that, of course. So we don't inspect on that particular property, that particular location. And with the primary site plan here, I'll pass this mic to John Howard, and he's going to sit back and talk to you a bit more about it.
Thank you. I hope we're not going past the clock time. I'm trying to make it short enough so that all the information is relayed properly. The site there is a layout of one of the plans. It's site plan number 4. A lot of trainers don't have classrooms available to them. Even when the Department of Justice came out with us, we had to actually set up a classroom for them on site. A lot of the ranges don't have this on site. We will have, like I said before, the facility will be for security officer training, for everything we could possibly think of that we can provide for everyone on site. So there's no, well, we have to go to this city for one thing, we have to go to another city for live scan fingerprinting, we have to go to another city for other things. We want to put everything in one site and have it all done in one site. So this is a layout of what it would be. You have multiple zones. 2 zones will be cut off for law enforcement, and the federal government will be using 2 of these zones here. These buildings here, this would be like a retail building. What we planned on doing was using 12.5 acres, 12.5 acre plot to set up the site using sound abatement material. So anyone firing a pistol or any agency firing a rifle, the sound would be captured by the soft material inside of the range. It would be completely enclosed. These dotted line buildings would be, well, depending on where we would build, would be, I guess, restaurants or something else that we could use or that we could build that would drive more people. Because when you're out training, you do get hungry. So, hey, this here is an admin building where we would meet or Dunlop would meet law enforcement, government, and there's 2 training buildings on the side. So we've been working on this for quite some time now. We've already got the construction companies, Rose Paving, Mod Space, which is a green-friendly agency that uses green-friendly material to build their offices. Also, we've been testing and developing a new system that generates, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 50 kilowatts of electricity that we would be pushing back into the grid. And it's not solar, it's not wind, it's not anything like that. It's very new experimental technology. And it's not widely used yet, but we do have access to it. So basically, we would be completely off the grid, electricity-wise. And it'll be pumping out enough kilowatts that ComEd will be paying us back. So, and that's funny. But that's it in a nutshell, unless Donna wants to come up and cover anything else that I may have missed. So we're good? Okay. Are there any questions?
If you guys been around the village, where are you thinking that this facility would be located?
Well, there was recommendations by your police department they were going to actually build. And what we're going to do is take those recommendations, and it would not be next to properties near residential areas or homes. Yes, sir. But if that was your concern, it wouldn't be next to homes or.
I'm just curious as to where the amount of land you would need, and as far as where the village that would kind of set.
Okay, minimum 12.5 acres. What you see here is a 12.5 acre layout. And that's minimum what we would need. If there's a 20 acre parcel or 15 acre parcel owned by the city, we would purchase that as well, directly from the city.
And then, she talked about ordinances and code committee. What would be the next step? So if you guys are presenting tonight, and if we were to go forward with this, what would be the next step, and what would be your timeline?
Well, the next step is for us to get a love letter from the city. I keep saying love letter, but it's basically a letter of approval or acceptance of this training facility for Sauk Village. And that's all we would be asking for. After that, we would work with your employees or your staff to, I don't know the codes and the rules and find out all that stuff. That's what that's Taisha Howard's area of expertise. We do not know, we just do what she says. So, that's.
Do you have an estimated timeline though from acceptance of the letter to?
If we.
Like, if you got the letter, let's just say tomorrow, how long do you think the process would be for, turn it over to it, and then how long after that would it be for actual building?
We can throw the shovel in the dirt as soon as we get a letter. If we get a letter, it would be saying, okay, we can actually purchase the property from the city. Then at that point, then Taisha Howard would take over.
Trustee Rich?
Yes, sir.
Santa for the horse. We have 12 units, and 3 of those units will be mobile, correct? As the young lady said, they could possibly leave the site and come back and forth. Is that the way I understand it?
That's right.
Of the additional units that will stay on site, one will be used as a range, correct? Firing range?
Well, the initial plan is to use those 3 that's on the site there as stationary.
Okay.
They are mobile units. I mean, these can be taken usually these units can be taken directly to different police departments that don't have the budget for 53-foot long ranges. They travel. But what we're going to do is actually drive them to the site,
So
lead them to the
you won't
site.
be building a range on site, you'll be using those?
We'll be using those.
Okay.
And what the good thing about those is the laminar air, the lead collection, the ability to present friend or foe. I mean, that's a lot of technology. Actually, those 3, that's $2 million worth of technology right there that can be used for law enforcement, civilian public, security, but they would be on site.
How many people do you look like that you're going to actually employ?
We're looking at 7 to 15 employees initially, right off the bat.
You said, yeah, we'll have 7.
I'm sorry, 7 to 15 employees. It'll be full-time and part-time employment. We do have a vetting process. Everyone that comes in, we do very extensive background check because of what we do.
So if an employee of Village passed your background check and everything, it's a possibility they could be working for you then, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Depending on the training and prior background, and that actually goes through Taisha. That's not even us. But yes, that's possible. Qualified individuals. If the individual doesn't have the prior training, then they would have to go through a training process.
Your next step is probably get all the license and everything, but the next step for the building is probably locate the land, purchase it, and now you have your eye on it. I'm assuming you have your eye on a parcel, and you're going to try to move on that parcel.
Well, we don't have our eye on the parcel yet. There was a land that your police department was interested in building on. We would like to see that property. We would like to see that parcel to make sure it fits within those the 12.5 acres that Taisha and P.L.A.N would be developing on, because they are the range designers and range developers.
Okay, so then after that, let's say you do get the parcel that you like it here and everything.
Yes.
Then the next step is getting permits and everything. So in reality, we're looking at, you could be up and running and testing everybody by mid-June of next year.
That's correct. That's
That's good.
that's good. That's the construction companies pretty much said the same thing, because Mod Space, Rose Paving, those construction companies would be, they know the permit process because they build, they've done construction jobs in Will County as well as Cook County.
Bottom line, what will you need from us?
Love letter. So we have group of our agents we have different, I'll say grids or different sections. Part of our agency, there's a group of our agents that are responsible for investments. Okay, where do we put this? Where do we do the capital investments or the capital? They use those capital expenditure sheets, all of that accounting stuff. Okay, and they're responsible for that. We are responsible, both groups, U.S. Investigations and U.S. Fugitive Enforcement Bureau, are responsible for selecting a site. Once we select a site, we go back and say, we want to build here. And what they do is sign it, and that's it. That's the process for us. But there's, Taisha reminds us over and over again, and over again, there's processes within the city that things that she has done in the past, that she does that we don't do, that we don't understand. We do understand to a certain extent, but she'll be responsible for going over the codes, the permitting process that the village has, because I know there's permitting fees that have to be paid. The land has to be purchased, whatever that process is. Taisha Howard will be handling that process as well. But what we want is the letter to say that we think it's a good idea. We approve of this idea and we're in support of this.
So basically, you just need a support letter from the mayor and board of trustees.
Right. That's a support letter will start the process. A support letter from your board of trustees. A support letter from your police department. A support letter from whatever your process is. If you've done anything similar to this in the past. Once we have the letter of support, we take that letter, pass it on to our different group, and say, okay, it's time to move forward. Once that happens, you'll be meeting with Taisha and her group of investors. As I'll say that for lack of a better term.
Trustee Warren?
Thank you. Something like this, of course, is going to have a high security risk. Would this be like a gated area, highly guarded?
Yes. For this here, if you look at the lanes, we will have, which we still have cameras at different spots that we can access over our Blackberries, or I know a lot of people are using iPhones and stuff. We mostly have BlackBerry phones. We can access them through our laptops, our Blackberries. And these are zones here. Each zone will most likely have 2 cameras. Okay? These cameras will be accessible by the Department of Justice. They will also be accessible by us 24 hours. This is a gate. This gate will be over 6 feet tall, I think about 8 feet tall, with sound absorbent material on it. So while you're firing in one direction, the sound waves will be sucked into a black hole. That gate will have cameras on it as well. There's going to be cameras all over the site. In addition to that, it will have security on site. So when no one's there, the security will be on site. We'll also have access to the cameras.
All right, this question, I guess, would be to the board and or the mayor. Would this have to go in front of the zoning commission? I mean, would something like this have to be like zoned, because it's not manufacturing, it's not residential? I mean, do we have anything on the books for something like this? So would it have to go in front of the zoning commission to basically say, you know, wherever parcel of land they're looking at, can this actually be put in there?
That I don't know the answer to right now. I'm looking at this probably being more of a commercial retail.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's basically, and that's what Taisha called it, a retail. When you have those questions, if you would come.
Yes, sir. This commercial retail could be selling not only services, but also like small products like earplugs, headsets, targets, so on and so forth. Now, I did explain to the other gentleman, of course, the police department, of course, the chief, that in the near future, not next year, but maybe not, we might want to be an FFL agent. Well, we will be an FFL agent next year, but we may or may not sell, you know, rifles and guns on the property. It really all depends. Of course, that's a tedious process with ATF. What we like to do is get things up and going, make sure that the people there that work, the employees there is fully trained a certain way, make sure that everything is kind of going at least good 6 months to a year before we go in, want to do anything further when it comes to, you know, selling rifles and guns, of course. But the commercial building that's inside, of course, will be structured that way for just in case reasons. So we'll be already set for that. So it applies for ATL, please.
One other thing I look for a suggestion and direction is probably to open this up to the public, actually have like a public forum and stuff like that, and have like the residents come in here and then they can do a presentation to the public as a whole and find out the opinion of the population of our community. Just a suggestion.
I mean, if they want to come back and do something like that, I'm sure we no problem, but it wouldn't be part of the process for starting this. Sauk Village has had gun shops before. They've had shooting ranges inside Sauk Village.
Yeah, but this is elaborate. I mean, this is just not like a little shooting range.
Sure. But again, there is things in our ordinances and stuff for. I mean, they're not coming into Sauk Village. They're here to provide a service. And like you said, it's a commercial retail, so they don't fall underneath, as I can see as of right now. I mean, I'm sure when the attorneys look at it, I don't see anything that requires a special use. I don't see anything at this point. Yeah, I don't see anything at this point from everything that we've looked at that requires any specialized zoning. But we'll verify just based off everything we've looked at so far.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Burgess.
How you doing? I just have a couple of questions. First of all, are you guys an LLC or 501(c)(3)?
No, C Corp.
C Corp. Okay. And the second question, you mentioned about the land as far as the acreage that you would need. Is there a problem with you being in the TIF area? Or you mentioned that you would like to buy the land from the village. What if part of the land was owned by the village and part of it was owned by a private person? Would you have a problem with that?
That's not going to present any difficulty to us, so.
Okay. Because I'm thinking anything that would be that large would probably be inside of a TIF area. So there would be some guidelines with that, which would probably be in your benefit, benefit you
Oh,
guys.
absolutely. Yeah, I think I know where you're going with that. That part I understand.
That would be too much of a problem. My most concern is actually for the investors when they know how, of course, you are split into Will County and Cook County. So the guys on that particular team, they stated like, you know what, they split off of Cook County. That's when they actually require like the letter itself. So because of all of the T's guidelines going on in Cook County, we just want to make sure that everybody, plus the incident that happened at Harvard, of course, we just want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with the project itself. You know, not just one end and then the other one, you know, not too comfortable, but we want everyone to be comfortable this time. So, and the letter is actually actually from the investor team. They are the ones who really want it. Because they feel like, of course, if they invest in a large project like this, you know, we just want another company besides to go through the departments and so on and so forth. And I can understand that.
I think where you're leading to is we have a perfect location in one of our TIF areas that's also sitting in an enterprise zone, which would be additional tax break for your building materials when building. So, and it's far enough from houses. It's an area that we are developing, and there's already businesses there. But you definitely want to make sure that when you're doing your drive-through with the chief, that you take a look at one of those areas over there. And if I'm around, I'd be more than happy to take you out there and take a look at it.
My last question was, are you looking to completely build, or will you take buildings that are actually existing and you can add on?
Well, we will be taking, it all depends on the building itself. So I don't want to say, yes, we do this, and you know, I have to demolish it because of some type of particular reason. Because, like I said, with the team that we have, it all depends on the engineers. It depends on, like I said, it depends on codes. It's either or, to be honest with you. We started this off for this for land. Because most of the places that we saw here was just land, period. So with this project, we said, you know what, let's start with something with land. If there's a building there for usage, we see what we can do with it. So we may have to take away some buildings there, like you see on our project, or we might just use that particular building. It really all depends. So, but this particular private site here, we use this for like this land. Because between Sauk Village, I think you next door to a creek.
Well, right, we butt up the Stager and then.
Right, so being the cities, you know, unfortunately, we started looking at land, y'all kind of like, look like, when y'all just empty, compared to, you know, not having houses on it, unless you start seeing a little sign saying Sauk Village and the mayor's name on it, and so on and so forth. So, it really all depends, but this site can be reproduced for whatever fits on that particular site.
Okay.
We have people, we just wait for the okay.
Okay, then you did talk about retail businesses, maybe storefronts or restaurants and things like that. Would you be building those yourself, or the person that wanted to come in and actually build a
you know what,
restaurant?
from the investment team, they are actually buyers. They're actually pushing for maybe like a retail people that actually come in themselves, like a Wendy's, one of the gentlemen, he's into McDonald's, of course. I know the other gentleman, he does overrides. So it really all depends. Right now, we're going back and forth with that. But at the moment in time, we just kind of start out small and kind of like trying to spread out a bit. So I know initially it's going to be 3 buildings. That's the end of the plan. The reason why we want to show you this particular one, because this was the initial ideal, but we kind of missed some things. Because right now, we just want to make sure everybody, you know, is comfortable, you know, don't mind with the fire range. You know how it is in the process. Depends on the profit of the corporation itself.
So basically what you're looking at is 12 acres. You will probably build on maybe 2 or 3, and you'll have the rest for expansion. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any concerns or anything? We have a proven track record for what we've done. Like the gentleman that was here was asking questions about the video cameras. We would have cameras at every point as we had before. There's a site that's going up in New York. It'll basically be set up the same way, and with the same number of cameras. So.
I know the chief brought you before us, highly recommends on this project, so you've got the support of the chief, police chief, so that's always good. Especially when you bring a project like this into a community, with him being supportive, it shows that he's done his background checks and make sure what kind of a business that you want to bring. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's always good. I guess the question that I would have is, do you have a sample letter of support that you have, or are you just looking for something that the village just go ahead and type up and say we support this? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, on your letterhead, your words. Once we have that, we can move forward and say, okay, this is where we can set this up. Before you stepped away, I just wanted to know if there was any more any questions or any concerns that you had regarding the project. My understanding, yes, it's a training center that is retail because people will be coming in. Different instructors that are already licensed through the state police's instructors will be using the classroom. So that would be, I wasn't sure until, because that's not my area of expertise. I have some understanding of that, but in my mind it was retail. But then it's a training facility because it's a firearms training facility as well. But did you have any other concerns that you want me to address right away, or want any of us to address?
No, it's just the concerns that I have is the placement of where it's actually going to be placed at. My concern is to make sure it's away from the residential areas. I just, think something like this, in my mind, as I'm envisioning something like this, which is just a concern of mine by families and residents. I mean, if we had something like this, like the mayor said, or said about in a TIF district or something like that, away from, I really like that. But one of my things is just on it's highly, there's cameras, it's secured, you're going to have people there monitoring when you guys are not there, as a security risk. That's one of my concerns.
Okay, security, we would pretty much have that wrapped up. The cameras that we would use would be tracking cameras that we've used and have access to. We are a cybersecurity. We have cybersecurity backgrounds as well, and that's why we were talking about the technology. We are technology savvy as well. That's why we're talking about the green energy, the off-grid system that we will be using. Security. The only problem that we had with security before were the rabbits and the deers kept sending emails to our telephones. By going onto the property. Blip, blip, our BlackBerry's always going off. Now, as for safety, there's a lot of trigonometry that goes into this. The berm will be one of the tallest, anywhere from 30 to 45 feet tall. And it would have to really be blatant disregard for you to point at a 45-degree angle to shoot over the berm. And then we know what parabolic arc is, bullet drop, all of that. So what we've been doing is looking at GIS maps of the entire city. And we would see where you have 800 feet or 1,000 feet past. The spots where we saw that you would have to annex that are unincorporated, we said no, there's nowhere we're going to put it right next. Because if I was living right there, I wouldn't want to hear it right next to me. But in an area, you talked about a TIF area, that would be great. And the berm would be anywhere from 45 feet to 90 feet thick. So that's 55,000 cubic yards of material. We don't have anything in military inventory that would penetrate that at a specific angle, though. So, but it would be 45 feet, 30 to 45 feet tall, that thick. The cover area will not be able to see over the berm, so if you point up, you wouldn't even be able to throw anything over the berm. So, and the cameras are going to be monitoring everything. And of course, the city would have access to the camera system. So you would be given a login ID. Range safety officers. Also, there's range safety officers that are going to be on site as well.
One of the other things that I just popped in my head here was the other agencies, could the fire department use the facility or the emergency services use the facility as a training center?
Absolutely.
Along with the police department, we have a K-9 officer, and I know there was talk about them doing training inside our community as well. So are those things at no cost that the municipality could use those services?
You said no cost, right? For your municipality?
Yes.
Yes, that was for the reason, of course. So, Mr. Chief, I was telling him because of this location, Sauk Village. I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry. Because of this particular location, Sauk Village, at no cost, they'll be able to use it for free. But the only thing we require is just schedule dates, of course. Because we work not just you, we work for everybody else, of course, who are paying. So as long as I can get like a sheet with names on it, or some type of rough idea, or maybe a trip to the stations or whatever, so I can at least kind of do a mental picture. Or if I want to produce it like a little small card, well, probably not even that. Basically, the range safety officer for the police department, or the head person, of course, for the fire department, of course. We have a conversation, and he just gives us a schedule, once it's built. And of course, prior to the fact the place being open, we will have an open house. So, right. So, and more likely, we probably want to have an open house, 2 different open houses. For law enforcement, government instructors, of course. And of course, the village will be first to do the invitation. As well as the fact that we're going to have another open house just for Sauk Village too as well. So if any residents want to come in, just check it out first before we actually do a grand opening for everyone else. Then feel free to do so.
All right, any other questions?
So yeah, no cost to the village. And it is recorded. I wanted to hear it too on the recording.
You're just like.
You should see us at the office, and 2 agents in the back will confirm that for me.
All right, if the board has no objections, we'll go ahead and get the letter out to them before the end of the week, so they can move forward on the next steps. And I look at, just from your conversation, you're looking at a letter, then you have to decide where the location is, then you have to get permits, and then you have construction. So there's a timetable that has to be met. I think getting a letter saying that we support this to get something out for the end of the week if the board doesn't have any objections. All right, I don't see anyone shaking hands. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
That's it. I still see Larry here. Well, they're taking everything down. We'll go ahead. I'm going to go back to item number 2. Everyone has the application. You have the information in front of you. I don't see him here. Been having Mohan work closely with him on this grant. And so if you have any questions, take a look at it. We'll go ahead and, if we have to, I'll see if I can get him here before next Tuesday. But this is, Larry was the one from Green Technology who presented the streetlights for Sauk Village. We gave him the okay to go ahead and apply for the grant. The grant has been approved. So they're looking for us to take the next step so they can get those funds and start putting lights up. So, yes, pretty quickly, and Mohan has went through everything, looked at the grants, looked at the amounts, and by the time you get the grant, by the time they put the lights in, based off of what we're currently paying for electricity, paying for this, ends up being a cost savings to the village, and we get new lights throughout the entire village.
Been there a couple times, already talked to us, and he said he would go out and see if he gets a grant,
Correct.
and he did get us a grant.
He did. And in fact, it's one of those things that I was kind of, I really didn't think he was going to be able to, but he did. So. Just this one. This is the Illinois Clean Energy. Yeah. This is the grant they have out there for energy efficient lighting. There's a street, I don't know what street it's on, they have a light. The ones we have out front, that was, if you remember, Price. Yeah, he was one that had lights out there. Okay. So this was the other company that came in. Orion? Okay.
This is the first guy, the very first guy that talked to it. Larry is the representative for the first company.
Right.
The second company is one of the
Well, we weren't doing, he wasn't able to get us any money. That's why when he came back and said, I can get you the grant money, I was like, go ahead if you can get it. So I really didn't believe he could, because the other company could not get us the grant. No. I'm trying to think what it is here. No, the grant was 100%. Again, if you have any questions, double check with Mohan if you have any questions before next Tuesday. I'll see if I can get, I can never say his last name, I feel bad calling him by his first name, but I'll see if I can get Larry here before the meeting next week. If you have any questions, you can feel free to talk to him before we vote on it. Again, we're on a quick timetable to be able to get these funds. And again, it's... And like I said, Mohan has been working very closely going through us. Mohan helped get all the information that they requested for the grant. So, if you got any questions, I would definitely make sure you talk to Mohan on this one. So. No, they come in and put them in. Yep. Yes. Yeah, because we're on a timeline on this one. And definitely, I'll try to make sure I get Larry again to see if I can get him here. And I would encourage you, if you have any questions reading through the application, if you have any questions reading through everything, Mohan. He's been living and breathing this, so he can probably tell you right off the top of his head. All right. If there's no questions, comments, we'll move to item number 3. The tax levy for 2014. Everyone should have that in front of them. Tax levy is at a 1.50%. And last year's tax levy, total levy was $2,208,613. The new levy for this year is $2,262,042.20. So it's an increase of $33,429.20 compared to last year. And then everyone should have it, I think it's on the last page, it gives you a breakdown for each department. You got it right there, right? Go ahead.
No, I said I have a question. I don't see anything on here for the 2007 bond abatement or anything. I mean, can we, because if we, I don't want to wait until the last.
Can't hear you.
I don't see anything on here for the 2007 bonds. I was hoping that we could probably add something into that, so we won't have to come up with something come May when they're due.
We are at a what's the word I'm looking for? We can't raise it.
In other words, we're right at the
cap.
max. We're
Yeah.
at the max.
Yeah, we're at a cap. So the state, if we were home rule, we could probably do something like that because we're not home rule.
So we may have to come back, if we don't get the money, we have to come back and do what we did before. We may have to have another levy in May, or
I think we'll have to take a look at it. I've got Mohan pulling everything together for me on the budget, where we're at this
Yeah.
year. In fact, it went out to everyone, the money that was spent.
Yeah, I
So,
got that.
And we've already started putting stuff together for next year's budget. You know, my goal is, next year's budget, I like to be before the village board. I told Mohan by around February timeframe. So we can start looking, we'll be looking for the board, to come out. We'll get you this year's budget, current, probably beginning of the year, so you can see where we're at, where money's been spent. I want you to review it as a board. We're going to spend a little bit more time on this one. If you have any suggestions, I've been looking to you for suggestions. So,
That was my suggestion but I know we're at the max without having to come up with additional documentation. But I was just looking, because I do know that bond payment is going to be coming due.
right.
And that's what we, but it is what it is. Just food for thought. Just a food for thought that we have to prepare for that, which will be in May next year. And you're right. I do have a copy of. I think he sent one to everyone.
Yeah.
A copy of the 6 month, or really 7 month comparisons.
Yep.
I was there today talking to him, and I asked him, could we get that? Could we kind of look at that, because those are some of the things that we see where we're at right now. And what this levy is going to actually do, 33,000. It's not a lot, but it's something.
Are you sure that where we're at today, 7 months overview, you should have received also the collector's reports?
I didn't get those.
They check your emails, because they're showing up, everything's showing up email. So, I'll talk to you.
I didn't get a collector's report. I got this, but I didn't get a collector's report on my email either. No.
They told me make sure you got that stuff out there. So, if you didn't receive it, do me a favor, let me know. And then I know you said you didn't, so I've got you, but if anyone else didn't receive it, let me know, so I can make sure Trustee Burgess, on there.
1 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Are you sure that's for the collector's report and not for the budget?
No, it's a collector's report, August, September, October.
Okay.
2 o'clock. Budget versus revenue expenditure.
Yeah, I got that. The budget versus revenue, yes.
2 o'clock, that's when the collector's report.
But if you didn't get it, I'll make sure you resend it to you.
Okay.
So, all right, if anyone else didn't get it, please let me know, and make sure that you got it. That you get it. You didn't get it either? All right, let me write this down here, trustees.
I don't remember seeing it come through today either.
I got the budget versus revenue, yes. That's why I put it this way.
Can you see who it was sent to? Trustee Burgess and Trustee Washington. Good.
Went to everybody.
That's right, he said he sent me an email saying I didn't get it either, so I'm just wondering if there's a problem with our,
It must be because
because I asked for an ordinance to be sent to me, he said he didn't send it to me, and you had to get copies of it for me tonight.
But he did have a problem today. He said Gerald was here, which Gerald was here today, so there was something wrong with the service.
Okay.
Because I was here earlier, he said something wrong with the service.
All right, so we'll get that, I got Trustee Burgess and Trustee Washington, so far we'll get those. I'll go first. All righty. So this will be on the agenda, do we want this under consent agenda or new business? Tax levy.
Tax levy is self-explanatory. I mean, we can't raise it anymore, but we do need it.
All right, so consent agenda? All right. As we go back, green technology is okay, we put that under consent agenda also, to get the grant? Okay. All right, okay, we'll go ahead and put it on consent agenda. If you have a problem with it, make sure you give me a call, we'll move it if we have to. Cost savings initiatives? All right.
You just said.
All right, cost savings initiatives. I know that some of the people are working, some of the trustees are working on them. I'll chat with Trustee Myers.
As a state executive, I've been progress and continue with the progress with this the program I have with the attorney and with the collectors. and it's working good, and I don't see any reason why that it should not help us 100%. And upcoming year, we will be able to see some of the outstanding fines out there for a few years. We have people out there that owns this building $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and if we can get a third of that back, then fine, dandy. That's money that will help our town village to keep going with, and we need to work on it. So with the signing of that, appointing that number to us, the collection agency will working with us hand on years. I think it's 2, maybe 3 years ago. Trustee Burke and I started this whole ball of wax going, and it just fell behind them. We got it back, but now it looks like it's going to actually be a reality. So just waiting on a number from the state. That's all. Thank you, sir.
All righty. Anyone else have anything?
I have a question there. I did talk to our chief, police chief, and Sherry, the code enforcement director, about the adjudicator and the prosecutor. I think we need to have a meeting with them, or you need to have a meeting with them to sit down, and because some of the things that I'm hearing, I'm kind of disturbed about. I think we should really get if there's a confusion, we need to find out what that confusion is. But right now things are not panning out. I think you know what I'm talking about. I just didn't want to. But we need to have a meeting and get some things under clarity, because that is money that's due and owed the village. And as Trustee Myers stated, we need to get it to that point where we can get it collected. If they don't have it or whatever, we have to find a way to extract or get the money from the fines. So I think that's a meeting that needs to be held ASAP with the adjudicators and the prosecutors. I mean, they look to get their check each and every month, so we need to talk to them about that.
Okay, I mean, I got try to find a time we can all get together, please, with the attorneys and the chief anyway, so we'll cover that also. Anyone else? Okay, you should see on there, I've got on there discussion for reducing elected officials' salaries. Currently, what we have is trustees are making $125 per meeting, maximum 5 meetings per month. The mayor's annual salary is $20,000, and village clerk's annual salary is $17,000. So, broke it down, and, looking at where we can make the biggest amount of bang for the village. As we know, elected officials' salaries cannot be changed until after they're elected or re-elected. So it's something that we wouldn't see until, of course, after the next election. You see 3 trustees, and then the following would be 3 trustees, the mayor's, and the village clerk's salaries. I broke it down at 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% reduction in pay. My recommendation is a 20%, but I'm looking to the board, because everyone's going to be voting on it. But a 20% reduction in pay, we're seeing only the first 2 years, we'll see about $4,500 in cost savings. But after that 3rd year, we'll jump up to a $16,400. Another $16,400 over a 4 years period of time. We'll see a reduction of $41,800. That's just in salaries. Over 4 years. Yep, and that would be starting after the next election. That's at a 20% reduction in pay. 20% reduction in pay would bring trustees down to $100 per meeting. It would bring the mayor's salary down to $16,000 a year. It would bring the village clerk's salary down to $13,600 per year. Open it up. Trustee Myers.
Could we do the same type of savings if we eliminate a meeting?
You could. But again, we find that every once in a while we can find ourselves where we can eliminate a meeting here and there. But I think we're getting a lot of stuff done. We're not sitting here really late at night. We had a long presentation earlier, but I think if we get in here, you know, we're getting business done. At a committee meeting, we find that we have some good debates, we find that we have some great presentations. We're coming in here the following week and we're voting and we're getting business done. My concern is if we eliminate a meeting here, and you're looking at needing to eliminate one meeting per month. That would be what the cost savings would be. And I don't think we'd really see it. We would end up having additional meetings. We'd have call for special meetings, and we wouldn't see this cost savings. By doing a reduction in pay, we'll see the cost savings because we're not going to be having any additional meetings except for special circumstances. And if you've noticed over the last 2 years, we try to make sure that we've had any special meetings on nights that we're having a meeting already. So it's not costing us any additional money because there's already a meeting happening at night.
A lot of those special meetings special meetings was on nights that we already have a meeting.
Correct.
So we don't, the trustees and people don't get double pay for that. We just
Correct.
standard. So that doesn't fall in the part. I think the meeting, eliminate a meeting, and if it need be, we can go have a special meeting. Like this month alone, we eliminated 2 meetings.
Just one this month. Because there's 5 Tuesdays during the month of December. So we only eliminate the fourth Tuesday.
I would just like to see the figures on eliminating the meeting a month. It's just, I would do it more paperwork and.
Eliminating a meeting a month is $125 per trustee.
Yeah.
You're looking at times multiplied by 6. I don't have it in front of me right now.
We all get the same pay rate, right?
Correct. Currently, everyone gets the same pay rate. All right. Again, by eliminating a meeting, we'd have to be held to keep those meetings eliminated. So, Trustee, please.
As far as eliminating meeting, I think the basic structure that we have now, I think it works for us. Because currently, we have the 2 committee meetings set up. That allows the time for, the mayor said, the debates, the presentations, things like that. The way our meetings are structured now, that's the opportunity for residents to speak. So if we cut one of those meetings a month, then you run into the situation of only allowing 1 Tuesday a month where residents are having the opportunity to talk and having to cram all of our presentations and our homework meetings into one night, thus creating a longer time being here, is what I would project. On the flip side, if you take it to a board meeting, if you eliminate a board meeting a month, that allows only 1 meeting a month where the residents will have the opportunity to actually hear reports about the police department, the fire department, anything like that, any of our board reports, anything like that. So I don't think that eliminating a meeting is necessarily a good way to go, personal opinion. And then as far as the change in the actual salary, I know it would not affect anybody sitting up here currently until the next election. And then my seat's not up till 2017. And it wouldn't affect me then unless I decide to run again. So it's not something that I feel is, I think the cost of changing the structure of the money does not outweigh the benefit of it. It's, as trustees, being in this spot for almost 10 years, it is not a Tuesday from 7 to 9 thing. You have got people calling you all hours of the night. You've got people stopping you on your way. You have got committees that you run. You've got things you've got to prepare for. None of us are doing it for the money. Because if anybody here is doing it for the money, then I seriously need you to think you should really question yourself. Because as a $7,500 average for a year of 365 days of work, I don't know anybody else who works 24 hours a day and gets $7,500 a year. I know we haven't had a raise in a while. I'm not saying this, I'm not suggesting a raise. I don't think the village can afford a raise, but I don't think that at this point in time, I'm not in favor of a decrease of that rate, but I'm just
Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that also, I am not in favor of a decrease for the elected officials. First of all, you may consider it to be a salary, but I consider it to be more like a stipend, because a salary to me is something that you get to help do what you need to do with your livelihood. For my own program personally, as Neighborhood Watch, I spend approximately 5 to 6 days a week working in this village. It costs me $80 to fill up my truck every time I fill it up. I am in the village not only getting new Black Club captains assigned in various areas of the village, but just all that I feel that we all do. You know, running around, talking to residents when they want you to be available on Sunday. I've been called, screaming in the background, I need you to come over here. Did you call the police department? Yes, I don't want the police to come to my house. You a trustee, can you come? Not even knowing what you're going to face when you get there. So just the emotional part of it, the physical part of it, the stress part of it, it's not even the $125. I am almost, I feel within myself, it's kind of not a very tactful thing to even put this on the agenda to discuss, because if you want to talk about money, personally, I believe in comparison, and I made several phone calls today when I saw the agenda just to know for myself. We are one of the lowest, if not the lowest paid trustees in the south suburbs. And I can use them, the city of Dixmoor, who was in the newspaper because they didn't even have enough money in their village to put gas in their cars. The criminals were laughing. We could commit crimes that don't even have gas to chase us. But they were able to get laptops and notepads for all of the trustees in the village of Dixmoor, as well as the mayor, to eliminate paper. All the costs of buying Xerox paper, the Xerox everything, they get the agenda, they get everything on those notepads. They also got a bundle package where they got cell phones. Personally, I have had to upgrade my personal phone, my personal package with Sprint to be able to accommodate the text messages from the chief, from the clerk, from my Black Club captains. The Black Neighborhood Watch has doubled in size. So I'm not trying to do anything but just give information. We are all going to vote, and we're going to vote how we want to. And I'm just, this is up for discussion. I want the residents to know why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not just saying I don't want the elected officials to take or reduce salary, but I feel that I need resources to do what I do to just maintain my personal program. The $125 does not suffice what I do. It costs me $400 a month just for my truck. It has nothing to do with my phone. Real briefly, I was going to do it tonight, but the hour is late. When I need extra resources like color copies, these are packets for my Black Club captains. They have 8 pages with the no texting, with the no willing. I can't get any of this from the village. I have to go pay for it to be done someplace else. So just to maintain and run my program off of the stipend that I get every week or every month, it doesn't even, there's no comparison. It doesn't even suffice. I do what I do because I love Sauk Village. I ran because I wanted to serve the people, and that's what I do to the best of my ability. And I just wanted to explain my reason that I'm going to vote no on this week. We have a lot of people that have not gone out to bid. We have other vendors who've been doing jobs in the village for 15, 20 years. They're making money. It's never gone out to bid. There are so many things that we can put on the agenda, but I'm still learning how to put things on the agenda, as well as some things you want to talk about behind closed doors before we bring it out front to put it on the agenda. So with all of these different reasons, we need a place, because we're doing a village-wide grid right now, and we're getting all these Black Club captains and new Black Club captains to commit on their blocks, and it's time-consuming. You have to be on the phone, you have to be available to people. I mean, it's just a lot to do. Personally, we have refreshments, we have coffee. I mean, you know, I try to work with the budget that I have. The stipend that I get, it doesn't go for me personally. I truly use double what I get from the village just to make my program stay maintained without going into my personal funds. So for that reason, and probably another 15 reasons I could go through without prolonging the time tonight, those are just my personal sentiments. I wish that we could find grants and find other monies. Of course, I've been screaming, that's what village managers do. I don't want a village manager just to be available to tell me the crime statistics or the blogs that's going on in the village, but that's what village managers do. They go and find money for the village. They go and bring in grants. Not only just assisting with the mayor, whatever it takes for them to do, but that's a part of having a person that can come and tell you, I know a way that I can bring funds and pay for my own job. I think at one point, when we had a village manager, she was told there's no money to pay you. She took the job anyway, and she found a grant to pay her own salary, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's six in one hand and half a dozen in the other. I wish that we could do a lot of different things to cut a lot of frivolous spending that's going on, not with just salaries, but with vendors as well. And I will do a proposal and put it in black and white as we have the next meeting with some of the suggestions that's been given to me by the residents. And I like to know what the people think. So when I saw the agenda earlier, I made a couple of phone calls to some of the residents that I have a good rapport with just to run some things by them. And speaking on behalf of the ones that I talk to, they can understand what I'm saying. They can understand the financial expense that all of us have. Rosie has two committees. Whether she has a meeting with one or she counsels one, sometimes different trustees will put that council a meeting, sometimes the mayor's council a meeting because there's nothing on the agenda, cops night out. So there are plenty of meetings that we don't have anyway throughout the year. Personal chairs cancel their own meetings, and then we have incidents that come up where the meetings are canceled for whatever reason that the mayor deems fit. So those are some of my sentiments that I feel. And any resident that want to talk to me about it after the meeting, I will be available to discuss it with you in much more detail. That concludes what I have to say.
All right, anyone else? Mr. Mark?
Thank you. Well, I don't know if I can do as well as Linda did. I actually am on the other side of the coin. I have no problem with giving you $25 up. Trustee Williams said it best, we don't do it for the money. I have a full-time job and then some. We don't do it for the money. The money's there, it's something a little extra. Trustee Washington, she's one of the hardest working people I've ever seen. She's all over the place. So, I can understand her viewpoint. But some of our state officials have made concessions. Said, no, I don't need my raise. So, to take $25 away from myself, that's not much of a big deal. But one thing we can make a concession. Concessions are like contracts. They're negotiable. Right now, we take the concession, we take the cut to help out the municipality as a whole. And then, who knows, 4, 5, 6 years from now, maybe things get better. Bring it back to the table and say, hey, give us our $25 back. Again, I would vote yes. I have no problem making a concession for the residents and this municipality. Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Burgess?
Yes. What was said is, first of all, Mayor, I didn't know this was going to be on the vote. I thought this was a discussion. I didn't know you were going to actually put this on the agenda to vote next week. But it seems like that's what the consensus is. But if that's the case, I'd like to kind of either table this or, because I have some other ideas. You said we were looking to save $41,000. I can go through this over 4 years. In 4 years, okay. There's some other things I think we should look at to save some money over the next 6-7 months. If that's the case, I've always stated the money that we make here, the money that we get here, by the time I get to paying my water bill and going back and forth, it's gone. So if you're here for the money, you're in the wrong spot. Now, if you're looking to come back in 4 years, you may not be here in 4 years. It may be someone else because it's an elected position. But if you want to make it something that really has some teeth in it, let's go through this budget. Let's go through some of the things that these expenditures that we have. I can name a few things off the top. We can go back to our lawyers and ask them to give us a 10%. 10% of what they're asking, what they're getting is $55,000 right there. If that's we're looking to try to save some money. A lobby is $36,000. If we look at the vehicles that we have, the administrative vehicles, the vehicles that we have people to drive. I know at one time I'd asked for the mileage and the use of the vehicles. That's something that's every day. That gasoline, we have to pay for that. I mean, there's a lot of things we could look at to try to offset, but $40,000 over a period of 4 years with just that. If it was that, I have no problem with that. But just don't stop there. We got, we have other things. We have publication, which I don't understand why our publication is so high. We budgeted for one amount and it's way over that. That was memberships. Those are some of the things that, we can save. We can save maybe, I'm looking at maybe a couple $100,000 into the next budget session itself. But 40,000 with just 4 or the 6 trustees and mayor and the clerk, that's a nice gesture. But I'm looking, if that's the case, I have no problem, but let's go all the way. We did give everyone a raise, fine. But let's be accountable. We have vehicles, we have cars, we have publications, memberships, professional services. Those things right now are over budget. In other words, we've exceeded in some of those things right now. So I think if we're going to do that, it's a great idea. If we're going to cost cut, let's cost cut over the entire budget, not just a few people. Because this, what was it, $25 a meeting? I'll go for that tomorrow. That's going to save something. That's going to actually do something. Are we going to take this and actually do something? Do we need? Yes, we need every dollar we can. But let's look at everything that we can have a cost initiative for in the next 6 months and look at it all. But just like I said, just by going over this budget right now, I can look at some things that we're over budget because we're over budgeted because it happened. Those things happen. But I understand what you're saying, Mayor, and if that's where we start, that's where we start, but don't stop there. If we're gonna start, if we're gonna cost initiative, let's cost this initiative throughout all the spending that we have and hold the people that are doing the spending accountable.
Anyone else?
I didn't say no more. I didn't say that.
You see? Okay. Trustee Costa?
All right, listening to the discussions, I more or less agree with. I agree with a lot of the things that Trustee Burgess has just said, but I too would vote in favor of this. Like you said, we are not here for the money. If that's what we were here for, we're barking up the wrong street. So, yes, I would be in favor of reducing the salaries.
Mayor, is this something that you are asking to put on the agenda for next week to be voted on? Well, when can we talk about the other money? In other words, I don't want to just vote on just our. I understand that. I'm saying, is he going to put that on the agenda, or can we? There's other things that we can do right now. I don't know if we had entered into a contract with the lobbyists. I don't know if that's a contract. That's something we need to look at right now. There's, even with the law firm right now, I know we owe them money, but these are some of the things that we can look at right now along with that. If that's going to be part of that, then I would like to see either, I know it's, 90 days before we get on the ballot? Before the election and you're right at 90 days. Well, no, so, I'm just wondering if we could do all of that at that time. It's not just the wages. Let's get everything. Let's try to see how much we can get at this particular time.
I can tell the board, and I tell the residents, cost savings initiatives have been on the agenda for months now. I've asked the board, and tonight is just a start of cost savings initiatives that will present to the board. And again, in the end, it comes down to your vote on if it passes or not. You know, talking to attorneys and lobbyists, $36,000 for a lobbyist we paid last year, who was beneficial in getting us a $4.8 million grant from the governor's office. Was beneficial for getting $135,000 grant for parks, $175,000 for infrastructure, $25,000 for fire hydrants, another $75,000 for additional infrastructures. That's because we have a lobbyist down in Springfield that is constantly staying in front of our state representatives, that is constantly staying in front of the governor's office, knocking on their door saying, please don't forget about Sauk Village. You know, and anyone who knows anything about Springfield, things happen and then all of a sudden something comes down off the floor and says they found a certain amount of money, we have an hour to be able to see how we get this and who's it going to go to. And that's what that lobby is. So the $36,000 we spent last year for lobbyists, start adding up how many millions that lobbyist got us. So the other thing too is you look at our attorneys. I put out for people that got my newsletter in July, take a look at what our attorneys have done, what they've saved us. Oldison and Stirk, yes, we do pay a large amount of money, but you look at their wins versus losses compared to previous attorneys that we had. You know, they've won 79% of the cases versus, and they've lost 21%. Previous counsel that we had prior to Oldison and Stirk, they only won 37% of their litigation and they lost 63%. Now you look at these numbers, but you know what's important is look at the numbers behind them. Oldison and Stirk resolved all the cases they lost for $15,000. The previous counsel that we had here, for the 63% of the cases that they lost, it cost the village $702,250,000. So, you know, I tell you, when I'm in quality, it's in the numbers. So, you know, we've got an attorney out there who is fighting for Sauk Village and we're winning cases. And the cases that we're not winning is costing us, you know, very little. So, you know, again, I got no problem going back to them and saying, you know, can you give us another break? You know, can you take a certain percentage off to help us out? They know what kind of shape we're in, and that's why we're behind on paying them right now. You know, they're taking and they're flipping the bill for Sauk Village right now until our tax money comes in, until we can pay them. So they're not charging us interest, but they're still representing us. They're still winning cases, and they're still coming to board meetings, even though they know we can't pay them right now. So, you know, again, you look at some of these things that, you know, we look at being a cost. But if we had an attorney sitting here saying, I'm not going to represent you until you catch up your bill, or if you pay me every month, we'd be in pretty bad shape right now. Because again, we've talked about how, you know, we are in one of our low parts right now. We're waiting for tax revenue to come in. So in Sauk Village, it's always been this way. You get tax, it's feast and famine. Our tax revenue comes in, it's a feast. In between there, we have a famine. And then we get our tax revenue, and we get caught up and pay all our bills. So, you know, I'm willing to look at, that's why that you're going to start getting in January the budget. You've got before you right now, where we are at 7 months into the budget. You can start looking at it. You know, just like I've come to this board for months asking for cost savings initiatives. You're going to get this stuff early, and I'm going to come to you months before it passes a budget, and I'm going to be looking at you saying, what do you want to do? And I'm not even going to ask you, what do you want to do? I'm looking at you to say, what's your solution and how we're going to achieve it. You know, it's one thing to be able to say, I think we should cut this or we should do this. Well, anything that you do, there's something else that happens. So it's kind of like working on plumbing, right? You open your plumbing here, and by the time you think you got this fixed, you got another leak over here. You got another leak over here. So there's ramifications to anything you do. So you have to make sure that you're looking at the whole entire picture, and that's what we have to make sure we do. So again, we're going to be talking about budgets. We're going to get through the holiday season. Probably in January, you'll start getting the budget. You'll see where we're at when it comes to the 9 months into the budget year. February, we're gonna be sitting down, we're gonna be going through it. I'm gonna be asking you to bring me suggestions. We're gonna be writing everything down, just like we did tonight when it came to municipal projects, writing everything down so we can start preparing. And then again, preparing isn't something that you just put a red pen to a piece of paper and you say you're done. It's going out there and going over it and over it and over it and saying, you know, see if you missed something. So again, this is one of probably many that will come to the board. You know, and again, I've listened to the board. You know, you think about it, we went through, you know, as a nation, tough economic times. If there's anyone that's hit it hard, it's been our village residents. But you know, this board hasn't taken a cut in pay since 2008, I think it is. 2008, the ordinance was passed. So, you know, our residents are out there trying to make ends meet, and we're saying that $25 is tough. And, you know, let me tell you something, if anyone knows about working, you know, I'm out here constantly. And, you know, I'm saying, you know, at this amount, it's a $4,000 a year cut. I've got no problem doing it. And I'll still work just as hard for the residents, working day and night, going to meetings, representing this village. And again, when we were sworn into office, we are a servant of the people. So how many of us have committees, or how many of you have committees when your committee members don't even get paid? They're out there volunteering their time, and they're out there probably every time you're out there, they're out there too. So, you know, you look at $25 a meeting, it's not a lot. 20% across the board. You know, and again, I'm not just sitting in front of you saying, trustees, you take a cut. I'm saying it's across the board, the 20% cut. You're right, $40,000 is just a start. But there's a lot more that, as we look at it, there's going to be a lot more things we're going to do.
Mr. Mayor, just so you, I mean, I know you made the statement about the lawyers. The lawyers do a great job. I'm not asking to, you know, undermine or whatever. I'm just asking, can we sit down and talk to them about future? Right now, we're in a contract with them for right now. That's the first thing. The second thing, we do pay we do pay contractual services, which means that South Suburban's mayors and managers. South Suburban's mayors and managers has a lobbyist also, as you already, and you're well aware of. So therefore, we're double dipping, but we're using their lobbyists to do certain things, and we have our own lobbyists too. But then,
let me touch base on that. You're right. South Suburban mayors and managers has a lobbyist that works for South Suburban mayors and managers. That only is a lobbyist for things that South Suburban mayors and managers has already asked for them to be down there lobbying for. He's not down there lobbying for Sauk Village, Richton Park. He's representing the South Suburban's mayors and managers. And there's a list of things that they put out, South Suburban mayors and managers, on what they oppose and what they are in favor of. So he's there lobbying on behalf of those bills and stuff. He's not there lobbying on behalf of the communities trying to get more money. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on that, because I've heard that before, that South Suburban mayors and managers have a lobbyist. So you know what? Courage State has a lobbyist down there too, and Governor State also. So, but they're not lobbying for Sauk Village. They're lobbying for the people that they work for. So Richton Park has a lobbyist down there, but Richton Park's lobbyist is working for Richton Park. So I mean, we can work down the line. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that.
I was crystal clear on that. I was just making a statement that we're paying them. We pay them a certain percentage, and we also pay. You know, we have other contractual services that we budgeted for. We went over $40,000. Went over $40,000 that we budgeted for. Those are some of the things. Publications and memberships. We budgeted for $10,000. We've already currently have used and spent $18,000. So that's $8,000. Only thing I'm asking, and I did bring this before you, and I brought it before the board, about some of the measures that we could look at to try to either eliminate, or we could try to, you know, cut back on. And, you know, everything I brought there was either talked about, downtrodden, or whatever the case may be, but I'm not going to go into that now. But I have brought things before this board, and we spent a whole meeting on some of the things. The only thing I did was bring suggestions. Now you're asking for suggestions. If I bring them again, it's going to be the same thing. Only thing I'm saying is if we're going to do this, we need to do this across the board. I don't want to see just, we're doing it, okay, that's a nice gesture, the trustees, I have no problem with that because I'll vote that we get nothing, nobody. No elected official. We work, as you said before, we're doing this for the people, let's do it for the people. Let's show that we're doing it for the people. You get the stipend because of some of the things that you have to, that you use your gas, your time and things like that. That's all it is basically it's a stipend. So it's not about the money. I'm sure, and this is what we're saying, it's not about the money, but we need to look further than just us 6 people, 6 plus 2, 8 people that getting I think it's a total of $100,000 a year for the elected officials' budget. I mean, if you want to save the whole 100,000. Only thing I'm asking is we need to look at other things: vehicles, expenses, publications, memberships. I mean, if we budgeted for one thing, yes, we're over. Right now, I just named, what was it, $30,000, $40,000 right there with just 3 things that we've overspent already in 7 months. So, and if we look at this further, I'm pretty sure we can look at some other things that we can look at. Only thing I'm saying is, we don't make it seem as, okay, well, we're just gonna eliminate or we're gonna cut just the trustees' money. And we're just gonna do that, and then next month we'll come back with something else. Let's do the whole thing. Let's look at everything right now. Let's look at the whole package and go back and go into this, and then quite naturally, yes, we can do it. I have no problem with the trustees, with the elected officials' money, but let's look at it all. Because right now we're over budget on a lot of other things, other than just that $44,000 in 4 years. That's $10,000 a year. I mean, yes, that's some money. I wish I had it. I could use it, but all in all, we need to look at other things. We just need, right now, that's the reason why I keep saying this. I do like the law firm. I think law firm is doing a great job. But however, right now we can't afford Cadillac. We have Kia budget, so we have to look at what Kia could buy us. Because right now we don't have the money that's coming in that we used to have, because a lot of these homes, we're getting ready to get hit. And this is something that you should think about. We're getting ready to get hit big time with tax abatement because a lot of people's taxes went down. A lot of people appealed and they won. What happens in that case is we get less money for taxes. So we really have to start looking at a lot of other things, because next year at this time, we're going to really be looking at a hard hit, because a lot of these homes are not worth what they were worth a year ago. So therefore, they're not paying the tax that they were paying a year ago. Those are the long-range plans we have to look at. How are we going to deal with that? $40,000 in 4 years is nice. Let's look at the whole picture. That's all I'm asking.
Trustee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to say also that the residents are struggling and they're trying to make ends meet, and the elected officials haven't taken a pay cut in 8 years. To care about the residents and what they want a lot. They don't like when the meetings are ran on Tuesdays, so they can't get up and talk and say what they want to say for twice a month, but it stays the same. They don't like, employees taking vehicles out of the village. They feel that they can drive their own vehicles out of the village to their different homes. They can drive back and forth in their own vehicles. You don't have to pay to maintain those, pay for the gas, or pay for them to have that luxury. There's a lot of cuts that can be made that the residents feel that they would like to see. So we're going to care about what the residents feel, and we want to cater to what they would make them happy and the complaints that they have. Trust me, it's a list of things that the residents want and would like to see done. And also, I just wanted to say, we have a lot of people. I asked a question a couple of months ago. We got a letter saying that the cleaning service refused to clean the community center anymore. They refused to clean it because it's dirty. So I asked a question, are they still getting paid the same thing, or did we cut them because they're no longer doing the community center? I never got an answer about that. I asked that from the cost saving initiatives. I also asked about different people in the village that use our products, or do we have proof that they bring their own products to clean with? And it's just a list of things that we can go on and on about cost saving initiatives. So just because we didn't bring it up, maybe you said, I've been asking about this for months. Some of the things that we do, I thought had to happen, but I'm finding out some of the things are luxuries for employees. not their salaries per se, but some of the perks that they have that's costing the village. We need to cut all those things too. And I am in piggybacking off of what Trustee Burton say. I'm 100% for doing across the board whatever it's going to take to save Sauk Village money. $25 is not a lot of money, so if you feel that it's a great cost-saving initiative to save the residents $25 per meeting, and for a person to drive a car 5 days a week, wherever they live, outside of Sauk Village, back and forth, to drive our vehicles to their residence and drive it back 5 days a week, I think that's more than saving $25. So I know that there should be no problem to cut that perk and all of those kinds of things that's going on in the village. I feel all of those should be done on the consent agenda at one time. I feel it's premature to put this on the agenda this week and want us to vote on it next week without analyzing everyone in the village that could be saving the residents money. $25, $100, $1,000. If it's going to save the residents, let's put it on a consent agenda for all of these things to cease immediately. Just like our salaries was going to happen in 2 years, some of these things can happen right now. Some of those numbers you said, $4,000 or $40,000 over 4 years, it's not going to be effective until our terms are up. But some of these things could be cost-saving initiatives starting Monday. They can stop driving our vehicles out of the village Monday. If we are still paying somebody to clean up the same amount that they were paying, and they cut their services, why are we still paying them the same thing? And there's some more of those examples as well. So I think that we should look into all of that and vote on all of that next week.
I'm going to continue to beat the horse to death. Over the past months, and it goes back for a year, I know Trustee Norton brought up a darn good cost-saving act to us, a item that we can even get money from, and it was shut down or wasn't looked into by either various members of the board or our police department and so forth. Truck enforcement it's not our own trucks that disobeying the law. It's the ones coming in from Indiana, using our roads, tearing our roads up. And how many meetings you come here? Everybody complained about the condition of our road. One of those roads is Sauk Trail. That's where truck enforcement come in. So these heavy trucks that shoot the scale don't belong on Sauk Trail. Don't belong on Torrance Avenue. You know, they need to go on their own routes. And right at the present time, until the middle, darn near the middle of, I think it's March, we're going to have trucks coming through our town. Just last night, 11:45, when I was going to pick my niece up, I had a triple and sitting on Torrance Avenue going north, came off at the S curve. Now, I don't think either one, none of you up here can tell me triple's allowed to be on the S curve to Sauk Trail. I got a truck out of here, he says no. But we had two, mind you, truck enforcement people on staff in our police department. Let's use them. Bottom line. Going back to something else. What's wrong with the village stickers? We're down, way down, the village stickers. Way down. But, Mayor, our police chief, and I believe you backed him up, says that we won't issue citations to people that have no village stickers in the parking lot. Well, I gotta buy a village sticker. I buy 5 village stickers. So, if they want a village sticker, they need to get a citation. Period. Done. What about dogs? I got dogs. I buy license for my dogs. But yet, you only have maybe half a dozen citation rules and when you can actually catch them and direct them. It may cost a couple of bucks to get a part-time dog person out here. God knows we bring on part-time people for everything else. Let's bring a part-time dog warden on. Let's start taking care of the dog. It's bad when the post office has to stop delivering mail on a whole entire block because a Rottweiler chases a mailman down the road. I mean, Mayor, it goes an awful lot. And I'm going to go along with the rest of them. Fine, and then I will vote yes positively if you can give me a attendant plan that puts everything involved, not just one. Thank you.
All right, there'll be, like I said, there'll be more cost-saving initiatives coming to the board, and keep it coming. Got some good notes, and we'll be meeting with the chief, especially on a few of these. All right, put it under new business. All right. We got number 6, public comment. All questions and comments directed to the mayor. Speaker may give 3 minutes to comment on topics of their choice. Each speaker will be given 1 opportunity to speak. Anything, please come forward. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Carol Moreno. When you're looking at those grants for the rec center, like the air conditioning stuff, can there also be a look for a grant to revamp the kitchen? They've got tiles popping off, equipment that doesn't work. You know, the whole place needs to be fixed up. It's kind of crap looking too. And also, we're in the process of putting trees up for Santa. Anybody has any trees that they're trying to replace with new ones, or getting rid of them, it would be a good idea to donate them. And some that are like Charles Brown Christmas trees. They're in bad shape. We tried to jerry some of them together. Didn't work. So, and that's about it. Thank you.
Great.
Sharon Noack, 40 years, South Village. At home, I've got a shirt that says 5 years of service. 5 years of service where I never got paid for. But we did have appreciation dinners. That was a nice thing. I'm currently serving again at no pay. But as I recall, years ago, when I was doing the volunteer work, trustees were paid per meeting, and they got like $5 or $10 for committee meetings. Not the same money they got for board meetings. And then I thought, well, why would volunteers want to volunteer and donate to their committee when the chair, who ran because they love Sauk Village, is getting paid $125 to come to that committee meeting? I also found it interesting tonight that because this topic came up, all of a sudden, there's all kinds of cost savings coming to light. And all of a sudden, we're over budget. What are you doing every month? Aren't you looking at, we're getting close to the end of our budget on this item every month? Why are we suddenly 8,000 over? Shouldn't we have looked at it when we were 2,000 under? Or 1,000 under? So, we just would like you to kind of look at things and think about the volunteers who donate money and don't get paid for anything. We do this because we love Sauk Village. And the other item just above that was an increase for us. The fees this year, an increase for us. The water, an increase for us. So, I rest my case.
Right.
Talk about the budget. Where's all the water money going to? So my bill has tripled in 2 months. And the comment I got last month when I called about my water bill was, I put that on your water bill to get your attention. And I'm like, well, could I have got a postcard saying that somebody should have came out and fixed my meter when my meter has been broken? I had been calling for somebody to come out and nobody came out. And somebody was supposed to come out, but nobody came out. So for me to get a water bill that was low, now this month, it's $499.
I got money, they took money off of my bill last month. Where's all this money going to? They were paid.
Is it, you have anything else? Okay. Yeah, water bills go for everything from payroll to upkeep, to maintenance, running the water department. So, you know, we tell residents to make sure you keep a close eye on your water bills, especially so if you have a leak. I mean, if you have a drip, you get a water bill every 2 months. A drip for 2 months could increase your water bill drastically. That's important. If you get a water bill, and I mean, we've seen some residents that had stools that were running. You know, their stools in their house were constantly running, and they're wondering why they were getting a $600 to $1,000 water bill. Well, when the water department went in there, they found out that their stools were constantly running. So, you know, we try every once in a while we put it in Sauk. Might be a good thing to put in Sauk again. Reminding people there's things that you want to make sure you look for. You're looking for drips in your faucets. You're looking for drips underneath your sink. You're looking for stools that are constantly running. Those will increase your bills. And like I said, a bill that you receive every 2 months. It's not something that you're seeing every week or every month. So, again, I would encourage you to continue working with Cindy and Mr. Mohan. They'll take a look at it. You know, if you need someone to come out and take a look at your meters and stuff, we'll get someone out there. But they do all the working with the residents. There's a lot of things that we try to help residents that end up getting high bills. They don't pay their bill, and they get to a point where it's just overwhelming. So, you know, we look at trying to reduce their bills by removing the fees and removing late fees and things like that to help them to get caught up. So I don't get involved too much with the water bills anymore. When I first became mayor, about the first 6 months to about the first 6 to 8 months when I became mayor, I did get involved because of the problems that we had with the previous administration. There was a lot of people that were told not to pay their water bills from former board members, and they did not pay their bill. And then after becoming mayor, we went out there and found out those high bills, and we started turning people's water off. And they came in and said, "Hey, I was told not paying a water bill." So, the first 6 to 8 months, I worked with the residents, tried to make it where, we could spread out their water payments and we could reduce their fees and get it so they could get caught up. But after that, I turned everything back over to Cindy and Mr. Mohan. He works very closely with the residents. And every once in a while, he'll come up to me on a special occasion, there's a special issue and task, for a little bit of advice. But, again, we understand residents, we understand, especially when you're looking at your bills. It's still difficult out there. The economy is still not where it needs to be. So, if you get to a point that you don't feel like you're getting anywhere with Cindy and Mr. Mohan, again, I don't get involved with a lot, but every once in a while they'll bring one to me saying that they can't do anything. So, again, you have to remember, and I tell a lot of residents, my job as mayor is to enforce the ordinance. So on a lot of things, I got residents saying, "We'll cut my water bill in half and I'll pay it and you can write it off." I don't have that kind of power. As mayor, I took an oath that I will support and enforce the ordinances of this community. So, again, one thing that we're looking at, will be coming for the board, and it's not really a cost savings initiative, but it's a way to get money in here, is I've been talking to Mohan, looking at a amnesty program where, we'll take a certain percentage off your bill if you come in and get caught up, because, we've got over $100,000 worth of water bills out there that are not paying, where residents are not paying. So, if we can look at something like that, and we're trying to put something together. Mohan doesn't like the idea because he's looking at money we're not going to get. But again, sometimes you have to look at the entire picture. If we can give someone a little bit of help to get them caught back up, get them back on their feet, that's what we're looking at. So again, something that will come back to the board probably beginning of next year. Looking at something like that in the water. So, but again, that would have to be voted through the board to be able to provide a program like that. So, next.
This idea is raising revenues.
I understand the state law is if there's a sidewalk provided, we should put your buns on the sidewalk instead of walking the street. We can make revenue if people are blocking traffic, causing accidents and so on out in the street, along with bicycles. Use the state law that says that you need a headlight and a reflector after dark. That's a state law. And there's people out here riding all out the day and night with no whatsoever reflectors, stuff in that. They're darkening out traffic and so on and so forth. I don't know, we could do something with that and probably hire another officer, just pay for his wages just to do that. Along with the bicycles that we have in the storage, the bicycles, the officers that ride bicycles, one or two of them, those are really a sweet thing to speed up on somebody's bicycle, there's no one to do there. Food for thought. Appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Two things, that couch. Our officers go out and they do write tickets, and then when these people come to court, if you send in on the courts, when they come to court that first Thursday of the month, you're gonna see a lot of these people that go up there and cry and moan, well, I didn't do that, and I'm not gonna do that, and I won't do it again. They get off. Our lawyer or our adjudicator, whatever he's called up there, needs to be a little stricter. I mean, sometimes they get by with not having to pay a fine. That officer gave them a ticket for a reason. And at night, when you're driving down the streets and these kids are out walking in their dark clothing, and you come close to hitting one, who's going to get the ticket then if one of those kids get hit for walking in the streets? Make them get off the street, make them pay those fines, and whatever we can get from this, what I think it was called. The other thing, on a happier note, the beautification committee has done a fabulous job on this village. The village hall looks phenomenal. For the first time, I mean, it really looks great. So I hope there's ways of finding money so nobody has to take the cut. Hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Langston. As you know, I'm a over 54-year resident here. I have been volunteering for almost 20 years, or maybe 22 years, on various committees, not just seniors. There are times I've spent time on multiple committees during the same course of time. Also, like Sharon said, without pay. I have spent more money on gas, paperwork, my computers, my printing from home, and serving on a lot. I have, since I chair the senior committee, and as all of you know, we are not budgeted. All the monies we have, we either our volunteers donate and we have fundraising. I know the beautification committee, I was going to comment what a beautiful job they did. A lot of the equipment, I believe, or supplies, a lot of them have donated and used their own money. I know they use a lot of gas money for that, and I've seen them doing not only just beautification, they've done cleanup work. They work hard, and they do deserve a lot of credit. And then, as far as the cost, reducing the suggestion for the salary, I know everybody, I'm hearing, let's look at the whole picture. Let's take a baby step and do one thing at a time. If you're going to wait forever, you'll never get any of this reduced. It doesn't make any sense to wait since months ago. I have not heard any cost savings initiative from some of the other trustees. And I applaud the mayor for at least bringing something. And I think that this should go on the agenda next Tuesday just for cost savings as a small step forward.
Dino, we'll move to miscellaneous business, comments from the trustees. Start with trustee Burgess. You got the mic right there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank everyone that helped donate some non-perishables for the give out yesterday. We had 80 packages. We gave out about 40, 45. We donated the rest to Emmanuel Church because Respond Now said they couldn't take them. So, but I appreciate those that came and donated, and then I'm sure that we were able to help some of the people. This was a last minute thing that was given to us at the last minute. We put the packages together Sunday and handed them out yesterday at the fire station. I don't know if we get something like this again. Hopefully if we get enough time, we'll put it out there, longer. But this is something that we just did, and I'm glad. Hope we help some families at times of need. Also, I won't have Intergovernmental Relations Committee meeting. I won't have one this month. The next one will be in January. And that concludes. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Washington, you have a mic right there in front of you. Go ahead and go next. A little different tonight. Go ahead.
What?
So do a little different. Go ahead.
I just want to say, first of all, we will be having the Deputy Registrar's class on December the 8th. That's next Thursday at 6:30 at the Community Center. If you want to be able to register people to vote in the state of Illinois for David Orr's office, I need your name, your address, and your phone number to send down to David Orr's office so that when they come next Thursday, they will have a packet for you. It is a free class. Anyone that is currently a deputy register, your commission expired on November the 30th, and you need to be recommissioned. If you have not been recommissioned and signed the oath, you cannot register anyone to vote until you do that. And they will be here on next Thursday, December the 8th, at the Community Center for anyone that's interested in becoming a deputy registrar. And finally, I just want to say, I have been a volunteer for over 40 years of my life. I have volunteered in church. I have volunteered in the community. I have volunteered in women's shelters. I have my own P.L.A.N Foundation where we have bought over 200 bikes and back-to-school programs, free haircuts. I've been volunteering for over 40 years. The volunteers that I know, they volunteer because of their love of the cause that they're volunteering for. I have spent hundreds and literally, I want to say hundreds and thousands of dollars over 40 years of volunteering. The people that volunteer usually not only love the cause, but they appreciate the person they're working with that's sharing. Our own President, Barack Obama, all of the millions of people of ethnicity that volunteered all over this world, taking off their job, knocking on doors, registering people to vote. They didn't get paid. They used their gas, but they loved the cause that they were out there volunteering for. Being a volunteer myself, I want it clear that I said that for me, in my own personal opinion, and my committee that I chair, I spend my own personal money as well as the stipend that I get. So for me to take a pay cut at this time, I would be voting no, because I feel that we bring a great investment to Sauk Village, not only through the signs that we were able to get on the corners and have tag days. There's not money in the village, so we have come up with innovative ways to raise money for the decals, for all of the things that we do in the neighborhood watch. Even the book bags, a lot of us have donated money, time, gas, going from stores to stores. So, everybody can stand up here and talk about all that they've done because of the love of the village and because they're here to serve the people. That's not in question. And as a volunteer, speaking from that point of view, I've volunteered over 40 years in various programs. I have volunteered, and now being a chair, there is a cost to chair this committee, and I just appreciate what the village is able to do to help maintain this program at this level. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Williams. Okay. Trustee Williams.
It's okay. The public relations committee, due to scheduling conflicts last month, met last week, so we will not be meeting tomorrow.
All right. Trustee Martin.
Thank you, sir. Just want to let everybody know on the back table, everybody's talking about cost-saving initiatives. On the back table, there are flyers out there that make sure you look on the front and back side because I printed them on both, so that's saving some money. There's a couple things here that I have. A lot of them are jobs. Stuff that I have spoken with our state representatives and working with them, different programs like that. They're back there right now. People are currently hiring for warehouse, industrial electrician, mechanics, welders. And there's programs also called Access to Recovery. Looks like here for armed and unarmed security guards, flaggers, occupational safe and health assistance. There's information to contact them. And there's also something about the trades. The City of Chicago Department of Aviation and Construction Industry Job Fair. Thursday, December 4th. December 4th at between 9 and 1 o'clock at the UIC Forum, 725 West Roosevelt Road in Chicago. Again, all that information is on the back table. We also have something here from the Transportation Committee that I said on here, Connecting Cook County. The Transportation, Shaping Cook County Long-Range Transportation Plans. The closest one that they're going to have to us is in Orland Park, which is Tuesday, December 9th, between 4 and 7 p.m. Again, the information is on the back table at the Orland Park Civic Center. Basically, what they're looking for is residents, elected officials to come out there and give your 2 cents about transportation.
That's upcoming projects, right? 2015-16?
Correct. I got that. All right. And again, like I said, something that I'm doing here is people that ask me, well, why are you doing this? And then when it comes to jobs, if somebody here in Sauk Village gets hired, or somebody in South Chicago Heights or Creed, it stimulates our economy, which promotes growth, and that's what we need. So we need to continually move forward with jobs. Trustee Myers kicked on something about truck enforcement. It is something that I am continuing. My endeavors are working with our law firm, making sure when this program is put into place, that the police chief is on board, and the mayor. I will do a presentation to the village board so they will understand everything that's transpiring. It is and will pay for itself. There is money out there, but again, we want to make sure that we do it in the legal fashion at all costs. Let's see. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Trustee Costello.
Thank you, sir. Okay, last week we decorated the community center for the preparation for Santa's arrival. We have put the trees up. The Wagner School the children from Wagner School has made some ornaments that we're going to go over tomorrow and start decorating the trees with, but we are looking for more decorations. If you have some extra decorations that you don't need, that you can put on a tree, please bring them by. I also need some help starting at 1 o'clock tomorrow to decorate those trees. So anybody who has some free time, it would be nice to have some more hands out there. But I'd like to thank all those who showed up to put the trees up. That was I had figured it would be about a 2-hour job, it ended up being almost a 6-hour job. So thank you for all you people who showed up and helped put trees up. We got, I think it was 8 trees set up over there that we have to decorate now. It's going to look nice for Santa. So come on out Saturday. That's going right into the next topic. That Santa will be coming out for his parade this Saturday. So if you hear the sirens, come on out, wave, say hi. Santa will arrive at approximately 4 o'clock at the community center. We're going to have the official tree lighting at 5 o'clock. So, or approximately 5 o'clock as soon as Santa and everybody's there, we'll go ahead and start the tree lighting. I don't want to commit it to a specific time because that's been a problem before. So come on out after 4 o'clock. We're going to have some cookies, we'll have some hot chocolate, and other things in the tree lighting. So it's going to be a fun event. Come on out. Also, we're having basketball sign-ups for the next couple of Fridays at the community center from 5 to 7. Or you can come out and register for a basketball program anytime, Monday through Friday, during regular hours at the community center. Robin will take care of that for you if you can't make the special weekends. We hope to start that next season, first weeks in January. Also, The flyers are back there for both of that. You will notice that on the back of those flyers is what's happening in Sauk Village, so we can save some paper. Those went out through the schools. Those went out through the school, so they should be all over town here. The 1,500 copies went out to the school for the children to bring home, so it should have a good crowd. Thursday and Friday, 1 o'clock at the Public Works Building on Nichols Avenue, we will be putting the float together for Santa, so if anybody has some free time, would like to come out and help out that, we're creative people are really welcome. We can have a nice float for Santa. 1 o'clock, Thursday and Friday. Public Works Building. Also, as it was mentioned, I believe Carol said it, we're looking for more trees and any kind of decorations. If you're going to get rid of them and they're in good shape, please consider donating them to either the village here or over at the community center where we can use them to help decorate. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Just remind everyone that Santa is coming on Saturday. You'll hear fire trucks and the police cars going down the street. You want to double check with everyone as the police department and fire department, make sure they're all on board. But there also, Santa's going to be there on Sunday at the fire station, I believe at the pancake breakfast. So it's usually, what, $5 for a pancake breakfast? So if you get up early Sunday morning, and I'm trying to think what the time is it 7 or 8 o'clock it starts? All right, so if you want to have a little bit of breakfast or a little bit of brunch, I know every year the firefighters do a great job making those pancakes and scrambled eggs, and I don't want to speak too much, I don't know exactly what you're having, but usually sausage and some juice and coffee, so it's well worth your money. It's well worth it for a good cause to help our fire department and our volunteer firefighters. So that's Saturday, listen for the fire trucks, and then Sunday from 8 o'clock till noonish, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. So the other thing too is it's already been said, the beautification committee, thank you very much. I came in last night when the building was all dark and walked through and saw all the lights and the trees are lit, and you did a great job. When you're leaving, look in the atrium. As you're leaving, look to the right. They even have a Christmas tree out there, and you've got some figurines that's lit up. So I say our community, we get a lot done because of our volunteers, and they're out there, they're working hard, and I didn't think you could do any better than you did around fall time. We had the hay out there and pumpkins, and then I came in last night and I saw all the trees lit up and how beautiful it was. So you did a great job. Thank you very much. And as mayor, and I'm sure the board members are very proud of our center and the way it looks. And just look around and you think about, some of us just walk in here and just think that all this tinsel and ribbons and stuff are there year round, but they're not. I mean, there's a lot of work. And then decorating the front with the stockings and the little figurines and stuff up there. So there's little extra little touches that make it a little bit nicer, make it a little bit more enjoyable for the residents to come. So thank you very much. With that said, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.